And we are live. This is UFC Fight Night 110, Lewis versus Hunt, Bro Picks, guest starring MMA Kelton. This is Ricky.
What's up, guys? This is Justin. Kelton, how are you tonight, man?
I'm doing awesome, man, and I just gotta say it's an honor to be the very first UFC Bro Picks guest, and I'm here very excited to talk these fights. Love this card from a betting perspective, and there's all kinds of fun shit on here. Not the biggest name value, but we're gonna see some violence, man.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about the last card real quick. I mean, Max versus fucking Aldo, dude. That was a fucking good fight. And Max, man, I don't think anyone's gonna beat this kid for a while. What do you guys think?
I think he's great, man. I kind of just saw it coming. I knew Aldo was gonna come in strong those first two rounds, and then Max was gonna weather the storm, and he just kind of puts a pace on you that's hard to keep up with, man. He throws those punches and bunches, and he caught Aldo slipping, took him down, and then he just looked like a fucking black belt on the mat with his pressure and his mount game. And he just ended up, and he just hovered over Aldo. You know, Aldo would turtle up, and he just got the back real smooth. You know, almost effortlessly, threatening to choke. Didn't get wasn't even forcing the choke, and then just kind of fucking peppered his face until had to stop the fight. It was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, man, I thought Max looked super impressive. I thought it was a really good fight. I thought both guys put in a very good effort. That first round, I saw some people making a argument for a 10-8 Jose Aldo. And the thing is, I don't want to take anything from Max Holloway away, but I think when Jose Aldo rocked him in that first round, he started to rely a little too much on that boxing, wasn't really throwing leg kicks, didn't initiate the clinch at all, wasn't going for any takedowns. And then Max Holloway, we know all about him. He improves as the fight goes along. You look at third round, Max Holloway finished Cub Swanson in the third round, finished Anthony Pettis in the third round, and now finished the legend Jose Aldo in the third round.
Dude, that fucking chin, dude, is fucking... Dude, I didn't realize it was that good, dude. I mean, he took counter shots pretty good, but damn, dude, his chin is fucking elite, dude.
Yeah, man.
Aldo hit him with some heavy shots.
I had a max bet on Jose Aldo to not win in the distance just because I was so confident in Max's chin. And Jose Aldo's not really a finisher to begin with, but I was super confident in that.
Yeah, that cash easy, man. Good shit on that. But I don't think Cub Swanson has a fucking chance against him, dude. Edgar, I mean, a little bit, but I'm still picking Max versus both dudes, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Cub Swanson needs to chill out a little bit with begging for that title shot. He's coming off 4 decision wins.
Over not the best names either. I mean, Artem, Hakron Diaz. I mean, come on, both those dudes are fucking joggers, you know?
I definitely think Frankie Edgar deserves a shot.
He does, for sure. But Max gonna fucking beat him for sure, man.
This one time I would probably have to bet against my boy at Frankie Edgar.
The only person that's gonna beat him is Conor McGregor at 155 because McGregor will fucking knock him out. I'm telling you right now, he'll knock him out in the first, second round, in my opinion.
You think so, man? Max has a fucking chin, dude.
He does, but he's not gonna be able to
would go up. I don't know.
Yeah. Why does Max?
I love Max. It's a great fight. I don't think.
Well, I mean, if they want to do a rematch, Conor's not going to go to 145. You know.
Max should stay right where he is, man. 145.
I think Max is going to stay. He's a perfect frame for 145, man. He's tall and skinny, you know, and he's strong. Has a great chin.
I want to see him fight fucking Jason Knight, dude. That's a fucking fight. And Jason Knight's fighting fucking Lamas, dude. That's going to be a fucking war right there, man.
That's gonna be a really tough test for Knight, and that's really gonna determine whether or not he's gonna make it in the top 5. I think.
I agree, man. But I don't want to talk about that fight. I want to get into this fucking card. So I'll start off first. We got Thibaut Gouti versus Dong Kim in the lightweight division. Both these dudes, man. I mean, you know, honestly, I'll start off real quick. I think Thibaut's the worst fucking fighter in the fucking division, dude. He's fucking 0-3. He has a bad chin. I mean, he's not really good anywhere. I mean, he looked decent on tough, but this kid fucking, I don't think he has it, dude. And Dong Kim is not a world beater, but I think he has what it takes to beat Thibaut. I think he's better everywhere. I haven't bet it yet, but I think Dong Kim's going to go out there and fucking finish him. So I got Kim by a second round finish. Kelton, what about you?
Man, I completely agree. And if you want to count that Ultimate Fighter fight, Thibaut Gouti is actually 0-4 in the UFC, man. So, man, the thing is here, I do have Maestro Dong Kim in a 1-unit parlay with somebody later in the card. The thing is, T-Ball Gouti's two worst weaknesses is his chin and his takedown defense. And two things that we do know about Maestro Kim: dude can crack, and dude can wrestle. So I think this is just an all-around great stylistic matchup for Maestro Dong Kim. What about you, Ricky?
You guys pretty much just took all the words right out of my mouth. I have to agree 100%. Dong Young Kim's just a beast, and I think he's going to impose his will on Gouti and just do whatever he wants. I think he's most likely going to just make it ugly and just wrestle him and ground and pound him, like you said. So.
Yeah, the line's good too, man. Like, I feel like I might have to take a fucking shot.
Negative 145 right now, I think. If it's at
he's minus 175?
145, minus 145.
Oh, shit, dude. I might have to fucking take a couple units of that, man. I didn't realize that. Damn.
Yeah, it's even better. I got it at 150, so.
I mean, I don't think
it's going in the right direction.
I don't think Kim's a jobber, but I don't think he's fucking good. But I mean, I think he's, he's decent. He has what it takes to beat Tebow.
He's no top
for him.
Yeah.
It's a good fight for him right now, though, I think. It is.
And he's proved that he can win. He's proved that he can win a UFC fight. So I feel confident in just the one unit.
Yeah, that fight with Poa was like fight of the year. But all right, Ricky, call the next fight.
Next fight, we got a chick fight. These girls have a huge amount of experience. We got JJ Aldrich, who's 4-2, versus Chamnu Jean, who's 5-0. JJ Aldrich is a minus 235. He is plus 195. I'm probably gonna have to go with JJ though, just because she's got the UFC experience. Kind of hard to find tape on this girl Jean, but you know how I feel about the women's division. I think it's kind of shallow. She's 4-2. You'd never see that, I think, in the men's division. But I'd have to go with JJ. What about you, Kelton?
So I know you just joked about the experience of JJ Aldrich, but actually, man, she has a 7-4 amateur record, and she's got 2 fights under tough. So the experience edge, and especially against high competition, she's got way, way, way more experience than this South Korean lady here. And this South Korean girl, she's only 19 years old. She's only got 5 fights. Her first 4 fights, granted, they're all wins. They were all against 0-0 opponents. Her last one was against a girl who was 19-22. So, man, and she's traveling. You can say JJ Aldrich is traveling like very far, but South Korea is an even further distance. So I think that just cancels out. I think this girl's going to be overwhelmed. JJ Aldrich trains with better women, better competition, more experience. I like JJ here a decent amount. I think the line's just about right, but for obvious reasons, I'm not going to be looking to parlay JJ Aldrich up here. It's going to be a JJ Aldrich pick for me, but I'm passing from a betting perspective. I don't even think I know a lot of people like to toss in the over 2.5 rounds in women's fights for parlays, but honestly, man, I think the South Korean girl is going to be so outmatched here that I could see a JJ submission early. So huge pass here for me, man. But JJ is the pick. Justin, what about you?
Yeah, I know we were talking shit. Actually, I was talking shit on fucking JJ before we fucking went on here. But, yeah, man, I don't think the South Korean's that good. I mean, I watched a little tape. She's young, too. But, I mean, making her debut, JJ has experience. And I don't think JJ is fucking elite or anything. But, training with Rose, I think she's going to have the cardio edge. And I think she might be better everywhere, man. But it's a huge pass, like you said. I would never bet in this fight. It's another girl fight. So I recommend all you guys out there, don't fucking bet this fight unless you have, like, a really good read on it. The next fight here. Yeah, man. The next fight, we got Zach Ottow versus Kinshi Kunimoto. Kelton, go first.
Man, so Zach Ottow is, I would say, my second most confident pick of the card here. I like Zach Ottow a decent amount. I think he's a tough out for anybody, just like based on his brutish size, and he's kind of physically imposing, man. And the thing about old Kichi Kunimoto, the guy actually hasn't fought since I think it's February of 2015. And that was, to give you guys a perspective about how long that was ago, that was Brandon Thatch versus Benson Henderson card. And the thing is, I don't think when it comes to long layoffs and coming off injuries and stuff like that, I think young guys like Ally Quinta can bounce back from that. But Kichi Kunimoto, 36 years old, I don't think he's that good to begin with. I think Zach Ottow is pretty much going to be able to bully this guy around. I'm fairly confident in him. I do have a total of 2.5 units riding on Zach Ottow here in 2 different parlays with a prop later in the card and another fighter later in the card. So Zach Ottow is my second most confident pick of the card. Like him quite a bit here. I think he just bullies Kunimoto here. Maybe gets a finish, but I think a decision here is probably more likely.
Yeah, man, I got him too. He's a pretty big dude. You know, he looked pretty good against Berkman. His last fight against Moraga. Yeah, it was a close fight, man. I mean, I could have saw that go either way, to be honest. But, I mean, you know, Sergio won that fight. Like I mentioned, he's huge for the division, too. He's a good wrestler. And Kunimoto, man, he did not beat Richard Walsh, bro. I mean, that was a fucking robbery. I know Richard Walsh got cut and he fucking sucks, but he fucking beat him, dude. And if fucking Richard Walsh can beat you, what do you think fucking Ottow's going to do? So it's a pass for me for a betting perspective, but I think Ottow, man, it might be better everywhere, to be honest. And I see him taking him down and grind on him for three rounds. Ricky, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much going to be a wash and repeat. You know, he's going to impose his will and just do what he wants. Most likely take him down, ground and pound, beat him up for all 3 rounds, if not even maybe just get a finish here. Just because I think it's just going to be just huge mismatch. The odds are pretty good, you know, for if you want to put him in a parlay, but not too sure yet. But I definitely got Zach Ottow. I don't see much in Kichi. I don't even know I think he's just pretty much put in here to lose. Unfortunately, I don't see
sacrificial lamb.
And one more thing I want to add. He came in his UFC debut. You can say what you want about Josh Berkman being a shot fighter and all that, but coming in short notice debut against an experienced guy like Josh Berkman and getting that win, that should be taken under some consideration. That's a nice feather on the cap of Zach Ottow. In his last fight, split decision loss against Sergio Moraes. I thought he won that fight, and Sergio Moraes, you can say what you want about that guy. I think he's another very tough out. So I've been impressed with Zach Ottow thus far.
Yeah, me too, man. Next fight, we got Luke Jumeau versus Dominic Steele. Ricky, go ahead and start that off, buddy.
Luke Jumeau, to be honest, I don't really know much about this guy. And Dominic Steele, I think he's going to get the win. He's negative 160. Going to try to get some tape on Luke Jumeau. But I do think Dominic Steele's a pretty good play here because I think this guy has a very good work ethic. He has he just tries and he takes you down, and it's kind of hard to stop him. So I've seen him pretty much impose his will on a lot of people in the past. I know he's got some losses, but I'm gonna have to go with Dominic Steele on this one. The decision. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, it's a close fight, man, because I was high on Luke in this fight because Dominic Steele, man, I don't like betting guys that have bad chins. This kid has a fucking terrible fucking chin, but he's a very good wrestler. He fucking knows what he has to do. He fucking goes out there, doesn't waste any time. He goes for this fucking takedown. And this Luke kid does not have the best takedown defense. I mean, he got taken down in his last fight against fucking Vic Grulich from fucking Tough Nations. Fucking terrible, man. He fucking took him down twice, almost fucking choked him out. And I don't even know how he fucking got out of that. And then he fucking knocked him out in the second round. But if you're getting taken down by that dude, Dominic Steele, man, is a fucking very good wrestler, man. So if the line goes like maybe a little over 200, I might take a 1 unit shot. But as of right now, I'm going to fucking pick Steele because, you know, that wrestling, man. But that chin worries me. That's all I'm going to say. When he fights a good fucking guy in the feet, he's going to sleep. Kelton, what about you?
Yeah, man, I'm with you. Like before I did tape, I was kind of high on Jumeau in this fight. I saw the knockouts on his record. I knew about Dom Steele's kind of weak chin there, so I'm like, all right, this is a good opportunity for a dog play here. But after tape, like you said, not the best takedown defense. Dom Steele, you can say what you want about him, decent wrestler, and that war against Danny Roberts, man. A lot of people thought he won that fight. I thought Danny Roberts won it, but you can't take away what Dom Steele showed in that fight. He showed some heart and determination. Like Ricky said, he's got a good work work ethic. So I think the line is just about right here. But that being said, Dom Steele does have kind of a weak chin. This dude does have some knockout wins on his record, and this is in his home country. So overall, man, this fight's a big pass for me. But the pick is Dom Steele via a wrestling-based decision.
All right, man. Next fight, we got John Moraga versus Ashkan Mokhtarian. I don't even know if I can pronounce that right. Yeah, man, this fight, a lot of fucking people are saying how fucking bad this kid is, and I watched a little tape on him. He is a can, bro. He's not that good, but I'm not confident in fucking betting on John Moraga because this dude, in my opinion, I thought he's on his way out, man. I mean, I don't even know what he's doing there. He fucking lost I don't even know how he fucking lost to that one dude. What is it?
Mateus Nicolau.
That guy, I mean, that dude's fucking a juice head. He doesn't even fight. But anyways, Moraga used to be good, but I feel like he's on his way out, and I can't fucking put the money on him here. But I do see him winning this fight because what's his name? Askin, whatever, is not that good. But the tape I watched, I'm going to have to go with Moraga. I think he might be better everywhere in this fight. But like I already mentioned, I cannot lay the juice. Kelton, what about you?
Yeah, I completely agree, man. I do think John Moraga is on his way out. That being said, I think he definitely still has enough gas left in the tank to get a win over Askin here. I as well wasn't really impressed with Askin. His wins are over against like pretty much just big old jobbers. And thing is, for flyweight, he's a little long in the tooth. He's 31 years old. Don't want to be that old making your debut in the flyweight division. Not really impressed, man. I mean, the way that John Moraga has been losing fights is against like really good strikers being able to outpoint him, like the Benavidez and the Pettis's of the world. Nicolau, he was able to utilize his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Askin is that good in one area of the game to where he can beat John Moraga. I think John Moraga is a solid enough dude to win this fight, probably wherever it goes, man. I like him a decent amount here, and I do have him in a 1-unit parlay with a prop later in the card. I got him at minus 155. Minus 150 now. I definitely recommend a parlay on John Moraga. I think he's a solid enough vet. I think he's hungry for a win. It's been a little while since he got a win in there, and Askin's not that great, man. So I'll say Moraga via a late submission, 3rd round sub, John Moraga.
I definitely have to agree with you guys. I do think Moraga is going to get the win here. He's just I think he's going to be better anywhere it goes. Like you said, he's got the UFC experience. He's got some losses in his record in the UFC too. But overall, I think he's going to be better than Askin, who's making his debut and probably going to have the jitters. I got to watch more tape on them, but sound like a good play right there. The line is pretty good for this. I think it should be an easy fight for him.
Yeah, the line is good, man. I don't know, man. Someone's telling me to stay away from Moraga, but I do think you win this fight. Next fight, we got Damian Brown versus Vince from Hell Pichel. Kelton, what do you think about this fight?
Man, so I got some decently strong feelings here on this one, man. So Vince Pichel, he's been out even longer than old Kichi Kunimoto. Vince Pichel hasn't fought since the card where Dillashaw dethroned Barao, to give you guys a perspective of how long it's been since this guy fought. Pichel, he doesn't do anything particularly well. He's a decent wrestler, which got him those wins, his most recent 2 wins over Anthony Njokuani and Garrett Whiteley. But I think Damian Brown, the dude's he's not the most like athletically gifted, but the dude's like a born fighter, very tough guy. He can pull out some adversity, and he's got some power behind his punches, man. He's got a pretty high finish rate here. I think, and another thing, Vince Pichel, he's, like I said earlier, I think these young guys can come off these long layoffs from injuries, but Vince Pichel is 34 years old, so I think this could be a tough one for him here, and he's fighting a very tough guy in the tough guy's home country, man, so I'm I'm kind of high on Damian Brown here, man, and I did take the 1 unit shot on Damian Brown. He was minus 105 a little earlier today, so 1 unit on Damian Brown to win 0.95 units. I think he gets it done on the feet. I think he stuffs takedowns and outstrikes Pichel over the course of 3 rounds here. Finish wouldn't surprise me, but I'm gonna go 30-27 decision for Damian Brown.
Yeah, I don't agree with that line. I thought fucking Damian Brown would be like a fucking minus 200 to be honest. But yeah, I passed from a bet. I do think Damian Brown's gonna win. I don't think Pichel is that good in my opinion. He's a pretty tough dude, good wrestler. But like you said, he hasn't fought in a long ass time. You know, that ring rest might play a big factor here. Damian Brown's super tough, good on the feet. That John Tuck fight was super close. I do think he won that fight, but a lot of people thought Tuck won. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Damian Brown here. He's fighting in his hometown, and I think the crowd's gonna, get him that finish on the feet. What about you, Ricky?
Yeah, I'll agree with you guys again. I think once again this guy Vince Pichel is like brought in here to lose, sacrificial lamb. Come on, like you said, he hasn't fought since what? How many years ago? Yeah, so Damian Brown is coming in, I think, with some momentum. I think he just coming off the finish, if I remember correctly, and he's looking good, man. I think maybe his wrestling is even underrated because he just likes to strike. I was hearing that half the battle that he sounds pretty confident in his wrestling. So I mean, even if he doesn't like to wrestle and it seems like he knows enough to keep it standing, so that's good enough for me. If you can keep the fight standing, I think he's going to get an easy win, probably knock him out easy. I mean, it's in his hometown. It's pretty far flight up to Australia, 16 hours, these guys, I think it should be an easy win for Damian Brown.
Yeah, man. Next fight, we got Alexander Volkanovski versus Mizuta Hirota. Ricky, what do you think about this fight?
Huge mismatch right here. I got Alexander Volkanovski versus I got Alexander Volkanovski winning this fight easy. Gotta do some more tape though. What about you, Justin?
Today, Junior. Yeah, man. He's in his natural weight class. He should not be fighting at 155. This dude's fucking small for 155, but huge for 145. And Hirota, man, yeah, he fought fucking Cole Miller last fight, but fucking Cole Miller, dude, is fucking a jobber and a half, dude. So, yeah, I think he's going to fucking take this fool down, fucking do the same thing he did his last fight, to be honest, man. I like Volkanovski a lot. He's fucking good on the feet, a good wrestler, a tough dude. I know he got taken down last fight, but he got right back up on his feet. Hirota's not going to be able to take this fool down. So I got Volkanovski by a fucking finish. I have fucking 2 plays with him. I got 2 units with him. And actually, never mind. I got him with someone else way in the card. I don't want to fucking I don't want to fucking I already fucking did. And then I have him with someone else in the card too. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, I'm pretty high on Volkanovski. Kelton, what about you?
Yeah, man, I'm high on Volkanovski here a lot, and I say it all the time, man. One of the things, probably the main thing I look for in fighters is improvements, and I watched some of Volkanovski's like really early fights, and man, I love how much this guy has improved. You can tell he loves to fight. He makes the improvements. He's pretty athletic, and like Justin said, definitely shouldn't have been at 155. I think that was pretty impressive of him to come up to 155 in his UFC debut and finish an actual 155er here in Mizuto. No, I don't think Mizuto is too bad. I did bet him against Cole Miller in his last fight, but that's just because Cole Miller was saying all kinds of crazy things, like he's going to retire, how much he hates the UFC. Didn't seem motivated at all. So I think that was an easy win for Mizuto there. Went to split decision draw with Teruto Ishihara, who at the time was kind of a green fighter. So I don't think any of Mizuto's wins are. I don't hold them very highly in my opinion. So I think Volkanovski can win this fight wherever it goes. Like Justin said, if Mizuto can land takedowns, I think Volkanovski is good enough on the ground to work some elbows from the bottom, reverse position, get back up. So I'm stalling him wherever this fight goes, man. And I also have a couple plays on old Alexander Volkanovski here. I have 2.5 units on him in total. So I got 1.5 on Ottow Volkanovski minus 122 to win 1.23. And then I got 1 unit on Volkanovski with Maestro Kim, 1 unit to win 1.27. I'm pretty high on the Australian here, man. I think he gets it done. Probably via finish, but a decision wouldn't surprise me. Mizuto is tough, if anything.
Yeah, man. Next fight. I mean, this is the fucking one of the best fights tonight, man. We got fucking Tim Elliott versus Ben 10 Nguyen. I'm gonna start off in this fight. I got a good read on Ben 10 here. This is in my opinion, a striker versus a grappler matchup. You got Ben Nguyen, who's one of the best guys in the division on the feet. He has fucking serious power for 125. A lot of fucking people, including my buddy Ricky over here, say this guy has a fucking bad chin, all this stuff. Okay, he's been knocked out like 5 fucking times in the fucking past. The last time was fucking, besides the Smoka fight on the ground, was in fucking like 2010. And I fucking talked to him about the whole Mearshard thing. Mearshard got stuff like 6 times back in the day. And look at him now. I mean, you fucking erase all that shit.
That's different from getting knocked out, because knocked out is like your chin. You can work on your jitsu. Chin.
Yeah, but his chin looked pretty good in the UFC so far.
Well, that's a bad example.
Fight, I don't think it's a bad example at all. You're just saying he has a fucking bad chin. But anyways, maybe it's a bad example in your opinion. But anyways, I don't think it's going to get to the ground, to be honest, because Tim Elliott gets hit way too fucking much on the feet. He fucking gasses out. It's a very bad weight cut for him. And yeah, I'm worried if he gets it to the ground and he controls him. But even in the Smoka loss, I mean, that was a back and forth fucking fight, dude. I mean, there's some nice fucking grounding stages there. And yes, Smoka fucking won, but still, dude, I mean, he hurt Smoka right off the bat on the feet. And there's some really good, solid ground exchanges. So I don't think Ben Nguyen has a bad chin at all. He fucking dusted his first 2 opponents in the first round. Fucking nice fucking Benoit sub within 2 minutes. I mean, he fucking hurt him bad, then fucking subbed him. And his last fight, man, he really put together against Jean Herrera. Fucking picked him apart and fucking killed him, man, for 3 rounds. I don't even know how Herrera fucking did not get knocked out in that fight. And Tim Elliott, yeah, he looked good against fucking DJ, but he looked good against DJ for fucking like 1 round. Everyone's on his fucking jock and shit.
One moment.
One moment. Just like the fucking KK versus JJ fight. The same exact thing. I mean, I know I bet KK last week, but she fucking did one thing against JJ, and everyone's like, oh my God, KK is the best. The same thing with fucking Tim Elliott. And last fight, I know he beat fucking Smoka, but I mean, Smoka was a different man when he fucking fought Tim Elliott. I mean, when he fought fucking Ben Nguyen. I mean, Smoka was fucking undefeated, a fucking beast, and then he fucking went on a fat losing streak, fucking started talking about McDonald's and shit. So I don't think Smoka is the same person anymore. I'm not taking anything away to Tim Elliott, but I think he has 135 in his mind. It's a bad weight cut. He's into gas in this fight like he always does. And before Tough, I mean, what? He was like 2-6. And also, dude, a couple of his fights on Tough were fucking close, man. Look at the Eric Shelton fight. That fight should have fucking went 3 rounds. I don't care what anyone says it should have. So I got Ben Nguyen here. I got fucking 2 units at plus 175. And yeah, man, I fucking like him a lot here. I hope he fucking keeps it on the feet, because if he does, he's going to fucking knock Tim Elliott out. He's way faster, way better on the feet. And he's a good wrestler, too. I forgot to mention that. He really does have pretty good wrestling. He's not going to go out there and fucking take him down. But I think if Tim Elliott takes him down, he's going to get right back up. And he's never fucking lost in Australia either. So I got fucking Ben Nguyen. Kelton, what about you?
Man, so I completely agree with you on this underdog pick, man. And one thing I'll say, those knockout losses from Ben Nguyen early in his career, they were early in his career. And one other thing, those were all at 135, man. 125, he's only got 1 loss at 125. That was that loss against Luis Smolka, who he was beating Luis Smolka. Ben Nguyen kind of I don't really necessarily agree with him going down to the ground with Luis Smolka. He kind of initiated that a couple times. I think he wanted to show off his ground game, but I think he just kind of like underestimated how good of a scrambler Luis Smolka really is. And man, Ben Nguyen showed his toughness there, and those losses early in his career, man, say what you want about them. A lot of guys won't come back from getting knocked out 4 times early in their career. I think it shows a lot how he rebounded and won all these fights right in a row. I'm super impressed with the striking. I definitely think I a guy with such a clear advantage in one aspect of the game should not be such a big underdog here, man. If this fight stays standing, it's Ben Nguyen all day, man. And the thing about Tim Elliott, and you say what you want about the knockout losses from Ben. He may have a bad chin, whatever, man. Who is Tim Elliott knocked out? So I don't think that matters even at all. And man, I forgot a point I was going to make. Oh yeah, the takedowns Tim Elliott was landing in his last fight. Louis Smolka has some of the worst takedown defense in the UFC. I'm pretty convinced Ben Nguyen can stuff the takedowns here. Light Tim Elliott up on the feet. And one other thing, Justin forgot to mention. After that DJ fight, Tim Elliott was talking about wanting to move up to 135, saying the cut is just awful for him. So he made another cut against Louis Smolka, and now he's coming in here, and he's going to have to make a short notice, another cut to 125 in a foreign country. So I think I'm not exactly banking on this, but I do think it's worth thinking about that another cut for 125 for Tim Elliott in a foreign country, short notice. Sorry. I think that could affect his gas tank late in the fight. Honestly, man, I'm going to go with Ben Nguyen here via a second round TKO. I know Ricky disagrees here, so take it away, Ricky.
Yeah, I think everyone's reading a little bit too much into this whole like, this is the last time I'm going to make 125 because, I mean, he probably said that, like, I think he said that right after he lost the championship fight. You know, he's probably a little emotional at the time and probably woke up the next day and realized fucking, you know, because if he really meant it, he probably wouldn't have went to 130. He probably would have went to 135. He put up a pretty impressive show. So I think if he wanted to go to 135, UFC would have been okay with that. I mean, he went to 125. I think I don't know if that's something that is something worth considering, but it's not something worth. I don't know. To me, it wasn't worth the mention. You guys make some great points though. I do agree that Ben Nguyen has great boxing. He looked great against Jean, but who is that guy? I don't know. His last fight, some Jean Herrera, right? It's okay. He looked great against him, but he couldn't get the finish. He did hurt Louis Smolka a couple of times, but get the finish. He instead he got finished. So I think his boxing is really good, but I do think that Tim Elliott is on a different level. I said it before, and I'll say it again. There's levels to this shit, you know. So like, I'm probably gonna be, you know, but you guys make a good point. It's in Australia, and he's never lost in Australia. He's pretty close to home, so I'm pretty concerned about Tim Elliott going all the way to Australia, cutting weight, you know, being jet lagged. So, but Tim Elliott, he's very unorthodox, you know, so I think he's very unpredictable, and that's why he's very hard to fucking stop. If you like, his movement is very fucking awkward, and I think that's what's gonna make him be able to get the takedown. Ben Nguyen is not gonna be able to predict him. He's gonna mix it up, and he's gonna go for a takedown. Dude, Tim Elliott is so fucking strong for 125. I think he's going to be able to impose his will if he wants to. He's fucking strong for 125, I think. And if you can give Mighty Mouse has fucking dominated fucking everyone that's been in there. So have a moment against them says a lot to me. So I don't know. I just think Tim Elliott's way too strong, way too unpredictable, and I think he will be able to get at least a takedown every round. And man, his sub game, he lands chokes, man. For 125, he has a lot of finishes, and in tough, I was really impressed with him. So I think he's gonna get. I think he's gonna get could be likely for a submission, or I mean, if Ben Nguyen keeps it standing, yeah, Tim Elliott's in trouble because I think his boxing is one of the best. But I really think it's going to be hard to stuff those takedowns with his movement. So I'm going to go with Tim Elliott. I got one. To be honest, I at first I was gonna pass on this, but I don't know. Justin kind of was just fucking egging me on, so I did a 1.9 unit bet for 1 unit at negative 190. He's at minus 235 right now. So I saw it. I thought 190 was a pretty good line for him. To be honest, I can see it even getting minus 250. So. But I still got Tim Elliott.
Yeah, one thing I'll mention real quick is that Elliott, he has a good ground game, man, but he puts himself in fucking bad positions. I feel like every fucking fight, dude, fucking the other guy is about to choke him out or something, man. Like, he really does put himself in pretty bad positions. And if fucking Ben gets on top of him, man, he's gonna fucking lay some fucking heavy ground and pound. So we'll see what happens. It's a close fight regardless. It's not a mismatch, but yeah, man, we'll see what happens on Saturday. Next fight, we got, I believe, Frank Waston, a.k.a. Enrique de Silva, versus Ion Cutelaba. And Kelton, we'll start off with you.
One thing I forgot to mention, I do have the exact same play as Justin in that fight. I got 2 units on Ben 10 at plus 175 to win 3.5. And one other thing, you mentioned all the knockout losses early in the career of Ben Nguyen, but Tim Elliott's got a 500 UFC record. But enough of that fight, man. Ion Cutelaba versus Luis Henrique. I think this fight has like fireworks written all over it. Both guys have a lot of similarities in that they're crazy, wild. They both have power, and they both can eat some shots, man. Both guys, I mean, they call the dude Frankenstein for a reason. Cutelaba's got a chin on him, man. I mean, it says a lot for Cutelaba that he could take the power of Jared Cannonier and Misha Serkinov. Man, I do like Ion Cutelaba here. And I was thinking about a bet, but something's off in this fight for me. I can't quite pull the trigger on Cutelaba and parlays here. I don't know if I'm willing to lay the minus 200 on them, just because these are both such big, sloppy guys with power. I definitely think Ion is the guy with even the better chin than Luis Henrique, the more power. But it's just so weird for me, man. Like, every time I play this fight in my head, I can absolutely see Frankenstein landing a big right hand or him just landing takedowns over and over. Just nothing would surprise me in these fights because I just don't think the world of either of these guys, and they're big, sloppy dudes. But yeah, man. So this fight's just a big pass for me. But I'm gonna go with Ion here via I'll say a second round TKO. I'm personally not playing it, but I can understand if people want to parlay Ion Cutelaba here. But I don't know, man. It's just a weird fight for me. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy because I think it has fireworks ran all over it. What about you, Ricky?
I think what you said is like perfectly. Just big, sloppy, powerful guys, man. So it's a huge pass. Anything can happen. I can see Enrique landing a fucking bomb that just hurts Cutelaba, or vice versa. But overall, I do think I'm leaning towards Cutelaba just because he's a little the less sloppier of the two. So I'm just gonna have to go with him because I think he's a little bit more technical than Enrique. But yeah, they're both big guys that I think anything can happen. So huge pass. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, I like Cutelaba a lot here. I think this kid's really good. I do think that he has a lot of talent. He's not a top 15 guy right now, but I do think he will be in the future. He has a good chin, and he has a really good power on the feet. And if you have a good chin, power on the feet, you're going to go far, in my opinion. He does have good wrestling, too. He has Greco-based wrestling. I do see him getting the takedowns here. Frankenstein has fucking terrible takedown defense. You saw fucking Jordan Johnson fucking ragdoll him last fight. So, yeah, I don't think Frankenstein's that good. I mean, he's tough, but he fucking throws sloppy fucking hooks. He does not have good takedown defense. And I see Cutelaba getting a finish here, to be honest. That Jared fight with Jared Cannonier was a very close fight. I do think Jared won that fight, but I think that, I think Cutelaba growing a lot from that fight, and I think we're going to see a different Cutelaba here. So, a more technical fighter. So, we'll see what happens. But I got Cutelaba. I got him 2 units with Volkanovski. Got a plus 103 to win 2.06 units. And yes, I do see Cutelaba getting the finish there. So the next fight, we got Daniel.
Actually, one other thing. One other thing I wanted to say, another thing that scared me away from Cutelaba here, I think Cutelaba can land the takedowns, and you said, Henrique does have bad takedown defense. He was taken down by Joachim Christensen, but Cutelaba's got to be careful, man, because Henrique de Silva, he was getting taken down by Christensen, and he landed a sub off his back, man. He reversed some positions and got that sub. So just another thing that kind of scared me away from Cutelaba here. But yeah, I still think he does win. I think you do, Cash.
Thanks, man. But yeah, I don't think Christensen is fucking that good at all, man. But I mean, Ion Cutelaba is not a fucking, he's not. Yeah. He hasn't proved himself yet, but I mean, I think he fucking does it here. We'll see what happens.
I don't think Eon's the kind of guy to get caught in a triangle like that, but I think Misha, Bet's a pretty good one.
Misha tapped him out, but that's Misha. But let's not even talk about
that's Misha.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck happened against Volkan, but we'll talk about that later.
Fluke, man, big fluke.
Volkan's in a fucking fuck up, man. So all you guys out there, please bet on Volkan. Anyways, next fight, we got Dan Hooker versus Ross Pearson. Ricky, what do you think about this fight?
The one thing I like about we're Dan Hooker versus Ross Pearson. To be honest, I think this is it's a either dog or pass. I can see why. I don't know. I can't. I don't agree with the line right now. I think Dan Hooker's minus is like negative 190 and Pearson's 165. Dan Hooker didn't really impress me against Jason Knight. To be honest, I think Jason Knight did pretty good against him. Hooker does have a chin on him. He did land some shots, but he's going up to 155 now. So he's going to be going up against a pretty big 155er in Ross Pearson. So Ross Pearson has a little bit more UFC experience as well. And the thing about Pearson though is he's just kind of inconsistent. You don't really know what kind of Pearson you're going to get. If he shows up, I really do think he can make it really close. But if he doesn't show up, then Dan Hooker is probably going to put on a show for Australia. He's hometown, but it all depends on what kind of Pearson we see. I think because I definitely do think Pearson has got the skills to make it a fight, but at the same time, I don't really know what kind of mental state Pearson's at. I know Hooker's going to want to get a win. Pearson is kind of inconsistent. So just because based on his inconsistency in Dan Hooker, Pearson's kind of a I don't know, declining. I think if he had a spike and then he started losing fights, and since then he hasn't really impressed me. So I'm gonna have to go with Dan Hooker for the hometown win. But I don't agree with the line still. I think anything can happen. I think it should be more to pick on. But what do you guys think?
Kelton, go ahead.
Yeah, man, I agree with Ricky. I think the line's off here, man. And I do understand people's angles on Dan Hooker here. He's got the hometown advantage. He's the younger fighter, the longer fighter. You could say he's coming up from 145. He's the smaller guy, but no, he's the bigger guy here, man. Ross Pearson's the guy that made 145 before. But that all being said, I think, Dan Hooker's the younger guy, probably with way more gas left in the tank with his career, early in his career, Ross Pearson late in his career. So I do understand the angle on Dan Hooker here, but I think the line's super off. I think Ross Pearson's been in this situation before, man. He's fought these younger, talented strikers that people thought were just going to roll all over him, like the Paul Felder, like the Chad Laprise. But the thing is, Ross is such a tough out for anybody. I think he can absolutely make this close. That being said, I took the 1 unit shot on Ross Pearson at plus 155, just because I see this being a back and forth split decision type fight here. I'm going to go with Ross here via, I'll say a 29-28 decision. I think it's super close. But yeah, man, I like Ross here. I got 1 unit on him, and I also have the over 2.5 rounds. I got that paired up with Ottow. 1 unit to win 1.09. So I do like the over here, and I do like a dog play on Ross Pearson just based on the line being a little off there. But yeah, man, we've seen Pearson in this spot before against the younger guys with more left in the tank, like the Laprises, like I said, and he picks up the wins, man. He's just a tough out for anybody, and he's got a chin, man. He's got a chin on him. It's nothing to just breeze over that he went 3 rounds with George Masvidal. Super impressive there. So I like the dog play on Pearson, and I like the over. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, man, he's always in close fights, and I actually do think that Chad Laprise beat him, but it was a very close fight. And Will Brooks, he came strong in that 3rd round. He almost fucking knocked him out. Masvidal beat him for 3 rounds pretty convincingly. I do think Masvidal could have got the finish, but that was a different Masvidal back then. And the Stevie Ray fight was super close, but I do think Stevie Ray won. I actually think Ray won a 29-28 unanimous. But yeah, man, I'm going with Hooker here. I do think the Hooker's better on the feet. I think it's close everywhere. I do not see this fight going to the ground at all. But I like Hooker's reach. I like his jab. He fights very long. I like it, man. But he does fucking get hit a lot. But I don't think Ross is going to, Ross is fucking, he's hesitant. I know he's on a 3-fight losing streak, but like Ricky said, he's super inconsistent. But both of them fucking have good chins. But, I mean, he does get hit a lot. So that worries me a little bit. But I don't think Ross is going to go out there and knock him out. But I see him dancing his way to a decision, man. I think he's going to pick him apart and use his length and get a decision win. But it is a close fight, I will admit. But I had to take a shot on Hooker with Volkanovski at plus 103, another plus 103 to win at 1.03 units. And I think Hooker's going to have a very comfortable outing out there, man. His debut, 155, and that weight cut was terrible for him, 145. So it's a close fight, though. I'm not going to say it's a mismatch, but I think Hooker's going to get his win. Next fight, we got Derek Brunson versus Dan Kelly, and I'm going to have Kelton start off with this. Kelton, disagree with me and Ricky.
All right, man. So I'm just going to come out right and say it. Max bet Derek Brunson 5 units minus 230 to win 2.15. So I have a lot of thoughts on this one, man. This is definitely the fight I studied most here. So Dan Kelly, obviously, he's become a cult hero here in the MMA community. The guy's won, I don't even know how many underdog fights here in the UFC. I want to say he's been the underdog in all of his UFC fights. He's only lost 1. Well, 2 if you want to count tough. So what are Dan Kelly's weaknesses, man? Well, besides the age and the knee, so you got you look at the what's the dude's name? Sheldon Westcott. Sheldon Westcott was able to take down Dan Kelly and submit him very, very early. So the takedown defense, Sam Alvey lost. He couldn't survive the blitz and the power of Sam Alvey. So what does Derek Brunson bring? He brings a hell of a lot better wrestling than Sheldon Westcott, and he brings a hell of a lot better blitz / power than Derek Brunson or than Sam Alvey. So, man, I think this is Derek all day, man. I think he starches Dan Kelly early. I think he can out-wrestle him. Dan Kelly, playing devil advocate to myself here, I think Dan Kelly's path to victory here is to survive the early first-round blitz, counter Brunson up in that 2nd and 3rd round. And, man, I don't think Derek Brunson has a terrible gas tank like some people say. The dude can go 3 rounds. I mean, he won a 3-round decision over Lorenz Larkin. The dude can go 3 rounds, man. And the thing is, man, I got all kinds of crazy thoughts on this fight. I'm getting emotional like Justin does, but I think Blitz Brunson that beat all those guys, Alvey, Carnero, Hall. I think Blitz Brunson can absolutely knock out Dan Kelly. I think the Brunson that went in there, the smarter, more conservative Brunson that fought Anderson Silva, I think he can go out there and beat Dan Kelly even. I think Dan Kelly is a little overrated because of all the underdog wins he's gotten. But you look at who he got those underdog wins against. Steve Montgomery, Chris Camozzi, an old shot Rashad Evans, Pat Walsh, Luke Zachrich. Nobody even close to Derek Brunson. And I did save the Antonio Carlos Jr. for last because that is his most impressive win. But you look at those first 2 rounds, arguably a 10-8 in both those rounds. He did clip the very young kid there in the 3rd round, broke his nose, and he just got the stoppage there. So that's impressive for Dan Kelly. But I think Derek Brunson is not a kid. I think he's an very experienced guy at this point, and I'm comfortable with him wherever this fight goes, man. And the thing is, I don't think he's going to be conservative here about Anderson Silva. I think some people's angle on Dan Kelly here is that the Brunson that fought Silva is going to get countered by Dan Kelly all day. But the thing is, Derek Brunson had to be conservative against Anderson Silva, the best counter striker in UFC history, because Silva, he's got power, man. Dan Kelly, you can say what you want about the guy. He has pulled off wins, but the guy doesn't really have any power that Brunson has to worry about. So I think old school blitz Derek Brunson can come in here and starts Kelly very early. That is my pick, first round knockout. But I'm comfortable if it goes into the second and third rounds. Yeah, man. So 5 units, Derek Brunson, very confident. I know these guys disagree, so I'll let them make their points.
You want to go first, Ricky? You want me to go? It's up to you.
Let me start it off, and then you can pick up anything I missed off. Yeah, so you know I disagree. I'm gonna have to go with Dan Kelly. I really hope he comes in aggressive because I think Dan Kelly's a tough motherfucker, and it's gonna be really hard to take him out. So yeah, man, I think Brunson, Dan Kelly has a win over Rashad Evans too. I don't know if you, but
very old shot, Rashad Evans.
Yeah, he was old, but he still was in great shape and still former UFC champion. So he did show some pretty good takedown defense. He's an Olympic judo wrestler, so I do think he's going to be able to give Brunson some trouble and maybe even put him on his back, man. He has a good reversal and just does that hip toss too when people get him into clinch, and it's kind of unexpected. So I think he has some tricks up his sleeve that might work on Brunson because Brunson's kind of sloppy himself, man. He comes in with his chin up, like everyone says, and I think if Dan Kelly can survive those 3 minutes, he doesn't have to worry about getting knocked out. He just has to worry about and maybe landing a hip toss or a trip here and there. And I think he can, and he's pretty good in the clinch. So, yeah, man, I'm hoping he gets another dog victory here because thinking about doing a small bet on him, maybe 1 unit, maybe 2. But I definitely do think his judo is key here, and when he's going to stuff the takedown and then maybe get stuck in a clinch and hopefully do a little judo move he's been working on to unexpectedly get Brunson down on the ground. I can see that happening. He's very tricky and he's got some tricks up his sleeves. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, man, you mentioned Dan Kelly's fights a long time ago because Sean Westcott was on top a very long time ago. He's definitely grown since then. And also, his only loss against Sam Alvey was a very long time ago. I think he's on a 4-fight winning streak now. That was his only loss in Australia. I don't think he's going to lose again in Australia, number 1. Number 2, it's all about how he looked recently, and Brunson has looked like fucking horseshit his fucking last 2 fights. He fucking looked terrible against Robert Whittaker. I know it's Robert Whittaker, but, I mean, I think that fucking changed his fucking career, man. His fucking chin is not the same anymore, and he looked very hesitant against Anderson Silva. Yes, I might get a little emotional, like you already said, but he looked sloppy against Whittaker, and he's super tentative against Silva. And like Ricky already said, I know he fucking was really hesitant and had a different game plan against Silva, but it's the same Brunson every fight. Besides that, he always goes out there with his chin up in the air like this. And I think Kelly's pretty good boxing, man. He has good dirty boxing too, and I do think he has power. So I think that Kelly has the better chin for sure. And I think on the feet it's close, but I don't think Brunson's going to land takedowns. I think Kelly could even get him down. I know Brunson has solid takedown defense, but if Kelly hurts him and gets him on top, he's going to do the same thing to Carlos Jr., in my opinion. So I like Kelly here a lot. I know he's older. I know Brunson's the fresher guy, the younger guy. But just that, I'm telling you, that Whittaker loss, man, really fucking scarred me for life on that. I mean, brutally knocked him out. And that was in fucking November, dude. I mean, so it wasn't that fucking long ago. And he did not look good against Aaron Silva, in my opinion. I don't think he did. I think he lost that fight. And I like Dan Kelly, man. I think he has a good game, dude.
So I'll come back with a little couple things here, man. So yeah, he did lose that Robert Whitaker fight, but like you said, it is Robert Whitaker. But I don't think he looked terrible in the Robert Whitaker fight. Yes, he did look a little sloppy, but he hurt Robert Whitaker. Not a lot of I'm pretty sure that's the only time that Robert Whitaker has been hurt at 185 pounds, and I wouldn't be so confident that Dan Kelly can stuff takedowns here. I mean, you say that Sheldon Westcott was very early on, but Dan Kelly was taken down by Antonio Carlos Jr. a few times. And another thing, and I always say this, and I don't want to disrespect Daniel Kelly bettors, because if you've bet Daniel Kelly every fight in the UFC so far, you're a wealthy man at this point. But the thing is with his knee, man, anybody he faces is always just one good kick to the knee away from kind of changing the fight there. So, man, I love Brunson here, man. And he took down Yoel Romero, man. So I wouldn't be so sure that Dan Kelly can stuff the takedowns, but it is what it is. We'll see how it plays out. Super excited. I think it's going to be awesome either way.
Yeah, man, I don't see him losing Australia again in his hometown. I mean, he did it to Alvey once. I just don't see it happening twice. And I know they're both – I know, he's a lot older than him. But still, though, Kelly's young, bro, in the fight game. And I know you say he has a bad knee, but he's a tough motherfucker, man. He has a fucking really good chin. He's not chinny at all. Sam Alvey caught him, but he's learned a lot from them. And like Ricky said, if he can outlast 2-3 minutes, I think the fight's all his, because like we already mentioned, Brunson fades, man. I mean, his gas tank, dude, I mean, he gasses, bro. He's a very athletic guy. He has a lot of muscle, and he gasses. And Kelly does not – go ahead. Kelly does not –
I think what happens is he puts everything in those fucking blitzes, So if it fails, he's like huffing and puffing. So Kelly is shot. Yeah,
man, he's gonna have to throw the kitchen sink at fucking Kelly to get him out of there in his hometown again, because he's not fucking losing that fight, dude.
Brunson has a lot of pressure on him, man. He's been looking like crap recently, and I don't know how he's been.
Yeah, and Dan Kelly's looked very good recently, bro. I mean, that Carlos Jr. fight, man, was fucking the way he fucking got his ass handed him for 2 rounds and went out there and fucking finished him, dude. I mean, that was fucking impressive. When has Brunson done that, You mentioned the Lorenzo Larkin fight. Larkin's at welterweight. I mean, I know he beat Larkin, but Larkin's a fucking welterweight. That's a huge fucking size advantage, So, and I know Brunson, okay, I know Kelly hasn't beaten the best competition, but he's beaten some bums too. I mean, fucking Uriah Hall, who the fuck's Uriah Hall? And fucking Roan Canero, fucking Ed Herman. I know he beat Sam Alvey, but that's, a little MMA math, but Alvey caught him, bro. But I know Brunson caught Alvey, but I think it's different here, man. So it's a close fight regardless. I think the line is off for sure. But I'm going to be putting 2 to 3 units on Dan Kelly. I know Ricky is too. So good luck. I hope it's a good fight. But I see Dan Kelly getting that knockout, bro, in the 2nd and 3rd round. And I know you see Brunson getting the KO. But yeah, we'll start off with the last fight of the night. We got Derek Lewis versus Mark Hunt, and I'm going to start off the bat. I like this fight a lot for Derek Lewis. I have a 2-unit bet on him inside the distance at plus 125 to win 2.5 units. And a lot of people are shitting on him because his winning streak, his last 6 fights, but this fool knows how to win. He's a fucking winner, man. And I know he has 2 knockout losses in the past, but I think this dude has a good chin. And his best trait, like you mentioned, is his heart. This dude does not fucking quit. I mean, that Big Country fight was super close. I watched that fight live, but I mean, Big Country didn't do shit when he fucking took him down. I mean, Derek Lewis fucking landed the way fucking heavier shots. And that last shot he fucking landed with like 10 seconds left, he could have knocked him out, bro. His last fight against Travis Brown, yeah, Travis Brown hurt him in the body really fucking bad. But you know what he did? He goes out there in the 2nd round, fucking knocks him out. And I do think Mark Hunt's beating the better competition, but Mark Hunt is on his way out, bro. I mean, look at the whole retirement talk against Brock Lesnar. I know Brock Lesnar was juiced, but he took him down pretty easy. If Derek Lewis takes him down once, it's fucking over because he is so fucking good on top. So I think Mark Hunt is fucking, in my opinion, done in this fight because he has no fucking chance to win this fight. I do think that he has decent. I'm not going to discredit Mark Hunt. I do think he's good on the feet, but I think he's on his way out, man. I think he's shot. and I don't see him land on Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis is so fucking tough, man. And yeah, I'm getting emotional here too. But I like Derek Lewis. I think he's going to catch him and hurt him on the feet. And one thing I didn't mention, I forgot about that, is that he's coming off a fucking knockout like 2 months ago in March. I mean, that's a brutal knockout against Overeem. And now he's taking this fight on that short notice. Yeah, I don't like that fighter. I don't like that at all for Mark Hunt. So I got Derek Lewis by devastating knockout. And then he's going to go lose to Francis Ngannou. What about you guys?
Yeah, man. So pre-tape thoughts, I was edging Mark Hunt there because I just thought he was the cleaner striker. Lewis was going to come in, throw some bombs. Mark Hunt would catch him with a cleaner strike. But that being said, post-tape and just thinking about the fight more, I am going to go with Derek Lewis here. I think the striking, it's close, man. Either guy can land a bomb, but Derek Lewis has that takedown. I agree with Justin in the fact that if Derek Lewis lands that takedown, I think he for sure pounds Mark Hunt out. Mark Hunt, even for heavyweight standards, pretty old guy. We don't know where he is in the fight game. He's saying very questionable things. I really hate how much of I don't want to say crybaby, but he has turned into quite the complainer about just about everything. I really don't know when the guy's last fight is going to be. And honestly, man, I think Brock Lesnar kind of changed the guy's life a little bit. That was a beat down Brock Lesnar gave him. I think Derek Lewis can. I'd like to I'm personally not betting Derek Lewis. I am still kind of thinking about taking Lewis wins by TKO/KO at plus 155. That's a possibility. Haven't taken it yet, but just for the sake of Lewis bettors, I hope he just goes straight in for that takedown and pounds Mark Hunt out, because on the feet, I think it's 50-50, man. I think Derek Lewis, he's the faster, more athletic guy. Maybe a little bit more power, maybe even a better chin at this point. But Mark Hunt, he's cleaner. He's more experienced with the striking wise. So I think it's 50-50. I think either guy can land a bomb, especially it's heavyweight, man. But just with Derek Lewis having that takedown threat and such devastating ground and pound with more ways to win, I am picking Derek Lewis here. I'll say via a second round TKO. I just don't like the words that are coming out of Mark Hunt's mouth. Like Justin said, he's coming off a very recent KO. And man, I do have a couple plays in this fight, man. I have 2 units on the under 1.5 in this fight. Just because I was plus money, I was pretty shocked that you take such heavy hitters like Mark Hunt and Derek Lewis, and you set the under 1.5 at plus money. So 2 units at plus 105 there to win 2.10. And then I have round 5 parlayed with John Moraga. I got that at plus 107, 1 unit to win 1.07. So, man, I definitely like this fight to end quick and violently, and I do side with Derek Lewis. I'm thinking about taking Lewis via KO/KO at plus 155. I just think he has more in him. And like Justin said, man, the dude's a winner. He's been winning fights. I bet Travis Brown against Derek Lewis in that last fight. It was a little scary at first. He turned his back to Travis Brown. He was getting caught with all kinds of body kicks. But the dude has heart. And another thing I'll say, a lot of people don't talk about this with Derek Lewis. For a heavyweight, he's got some fucking good cardio, man. Like, to get taken down by Shamil almost every single round and then to still look somewhat fresh. I mean, Derek Lewis was making a lot of mistakes in that fight, throwing kicks and whatnot, but he had the much superior cardio, and that one in the fight alone, just he was fresher. He took Shamil down and pounded him out with that good ground and pound. So I'm going to go with Derek Lewis here via, I'll say, a late first, early second round TKO. What about you, Ricky?
Man, you guys made some great points, and I definitely agree with a lot of them. I do think Mark Hunt is the better, more technical striker, though. But has been winning fights, man. He's got momentum on his side. Pre-tape, I was kind of like you, Kelton. You said pre-tape, and but more after thinking about it, mainly after tape as well, but mainly just thinking about everything that Mark's been going through. Those brutal, devastating knockout from Overeem, the fucking life-changing beating from Brock Lesnar kind of made him quit MMA. And mentally at least. It seems like he's mentally checked out. Almost seems like he's finishing his contract, just finishing the fights left in his contract. I hate to say that because I have nothing but respect for Mark Hunt. He's a fucking legend in my book because those walk-off KOs are fucking epic, But I just think as a fighter fighting someone on his way out versus someone on his way up, and you always want to put your money on the guy that's on his way up. So I'm going to have to go with Derek Lewis just because everything that's happening, but momentum-wise, mental-wise, and I think Derek Lewis's test against Travis Brown, he showed that he could overcome adversity. He got hurt. That stomach, that body kick hurt him, but he was able to do the right thing, avoid getting any more damage, and once he felt better, he got the finish. So he finds a way to win, like you guys said. So I'm gonna have to pick Derek Lewis to get the win. And with these big guys, there's going to be a finish. So I'm going to go with the finish inside the distance.
All right, man. I'm going to resay my bets, and then you guys can too. I got 2 units, Lewis inside, 1 plus 125. I got Ben plus 175. 2 units, the same bet as Kelton, like you already mentioned, to win 3.5. I got Volkanovski and Cutelaba 2 units at plus 103 to win 2.06. And I got Hooker and Volkanovski at plus 103 to win 1.03. I'm putting at least 2 to 3 units on Kelly, and those are my 5 bets. And before I let you guys do your bets, we'll do some shout-outs like we always do. Shout-outs to Half the Battle. We got Z, Will Martin, Seb Show, Sharif, and that's my shout-outs. And Kelvin, what about you? What about your bets?
Yeah, man. So if you guys don't know me, I am the kind of better to where I'll throw out like a very wide net. I usually have somewhere between 8 and 10 bets per card. Sitting at 9 right now. Gonna try to go over these as quick as possible. The max bet on Derek Brunson minus 230. 2 units on the Lewis Hunt under. 2 units on Ben 10. 1 unit Damian Brown. 1 unit dog play on Ross Pearson. And then 1.5 on Ottow Volkanovski. 1 unit Maestro Volkanovski. 1 unit Moraga, and the main event won't start round 5. And then 1 unit Ottow with the Ross Pearson Hooker over 2.5 rounds, man.
What about you, Ricky?
So far I've only got Tim Elliott 1.9 units at minus 190 for 1 unit.
Good luck, man. You're gonna need that, man, because Ben 10's a fucking beast on the feet.
Yeah, thinking about making a play on Volkanovski after some more tape, Dong Kim, and maybe even Damian Brown.
All right, man. Well, next week is a very good card. I cannot wait.
Oh, yeah, Dan Kelly. One unit
Kelly.
Dan Kelly. Once the line gets a little better. You can't – it's hard to fade Dan Kelly, man, with all his underdog wins, man. Hard to fade that guy.
It really is, but Brunson is, athletic, and he has power in the feet. So I'm worried about that a little bit.
I agree.
For next week, man, there's some good fights, and I don't want to spoil it, but there's a couple plays that actually there's a max bet for me. I already know. Kelton already knows. I'm pretty sure Ricky does too. I don't want to spoil it, but a couple really good plays next week. But Kelton, thanks for joining UFC Bro Picks. You're the first guest. I'm sure we'll have you back. Pleasure having you, and we had a good time, man. And any shout outs you want to do or anything, the floor is yours. Ricky, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you killed it, Kelton. Thanks for being on the show. Still the show, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys having me on. It was awesome. The Brunson Kelly talk was very fun. Definitely respect your guys' opinion. You did bring up some good points, but you know where I stand. So you guys can follow me on Twitter at MMA Kelton. Just ask for a follow. I'll follow you back. I'm down to talk fights with just about anybody. You can subscribe to my YouTube at MMA Kelton. I do videos just like these for pay-per-views. I'll do round tables. I've had Justin on one of those. And just for smaller events like this, I'll do just like 20 to 30 minute solo breakdowns. Mine will be up tomorrow, so you can subscribe to me there. You can follow my bets at betmma.tips/MMA Kelton and Cappertech MMA Kelton. The Cappertech is, I've been tracking on there a little bit longer, and the Cappertech is also a little bit more accurate just because Bet MMA Tips doesn't let you make bets mid-card. Yeah, man. Anything else? No, that's going to do it for me, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube, Twitter, And yeah, definitely shout out to all those guys. You shouted out Z, Dan Levy, because I wouldn't be here without those guys. Those guys are savages.
Yeah, man. One more thing. Thanks for coming on this late. I know it's 2:33 at your house right now. I feel bad that we're on the West Coast and all this, but yeah, thanks again, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. This was awesome.
Go get some sleep before your fucking podcast tomorrow. All right, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna close out now.
We'll be back next week.